Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast, Something Like Olivia, where we talk about everything and nothing at the same time. And that was my little slogan that I had for myself that I kind of stopped saying in the last few episodes just because either I forgot or I felt like that I probably just forgot. Maybe I had a reasoning for it that I probably maybe mentioned in an episode, but I forgot that too. So memory's not great right now, but that's okay. Because other things are great, because it's my birthday. And also just because other things are great in general. I'm very excited because I have a day full of celebration, full of socially distanced, safe celebration. I am going to be celebrating later with some of my friends, and Reese is going to come over, and it's all like... We've all been tested, or one of my friends has, I don't know, one of my friends is getting vaccinated really soon. It's crazy. COVID is kind of it's been such an insane year, but at the same time, it's kind of coming to a close, but not really. Also still stay safe and stuff. But just the fact that people in my immediate life are now getting vaccinated is so wild and so cool. My mom is going to get it pretty soon. That's so cool. But this isn't a vaccination podcast, so let's not talk about it. I feel even though that I realize those things are so important, like COVID and politics and stuff like that, I kind of want this platform to be, obviously if something is really important and I need to grasp your attention, I will talk about it. And I want you to know that I do have these opinions on things and I do stand up for things that I'm passionate about and whatnot, but I kind of want this platform to be less of that and more of just let's escape all of the madness that's actually happening in the world right now and talk about body positivity or fashion for 45 minutes. I want it to be a little oasis in the daily stresses, because sometimes it's I'm literally seeing commercials for these shows. I don't know what it's called, but it's some show or movie or something that's about COVID. It's fictional in the sense that it's all random characters and there's a story behind it, but it is COVID and it's a dramatization. I mean, not a dramatization because it was really bad, but it's actually, I don't know, entertainment about the coronavirus. I just feel I'm not ready for that. I feel I'm not ready to see shows about the pandemic and quarantine and how bad it was and how tragic. It's dude, this is no, let's not. I don't know. I feel I just need more time before I'm ready to see something like that. I mean, I guess technically it's the same thing if you're watching a war film or something, a movie that's set in the 30s or something, all that, all that stuff it happened, but they weren't making it the year of, I feel all those movies about the Holocaust and stuff, they're not still in the Holocaust and they're what a good idea is that's not going to offend anyone and be not culturally unacceptable and just tone deaf. Let's make a movie about the Holocaust, a fictional one, and put romance in there, and this just feels twisted. Why would you do that with COVID? So many people have died. Stop trying to make it a thriller movie. People are still grieving from I don't know. Again, okay, I'm literally I literally 5 seconds ago was this isn't going to be about COVID or politics. So let me chill for a sec. But anyway, let me reel it in before I go on a way too long COVID rant. It's my birthday. And I'm a huge birthday person, a huge birthday person. I love birthdays more than anything. I love celebrating other people's birthdays. I love celebrating my birthday. Gift giving is my love language, which also means that gift receiving is my love language. I don't know. I feel it sounds really narcissistic and I don't love it. But let's be real, I love it. I love it. I love my birthday. I love celebrating my birthday. And I just love celebration. I love parties and confetti and balloons and everything that surrounds birthdays. Even just the birthday section at the store, it's always way more colorful, and there's the confetti, rainbow confetti, and rainbows and stars, and I love it. I love it. Nothing makes me happier than a birthday cake and decorations, I love that so much. I thought that today I could kind of talk to you about 23 things I learned in my 23 years, since I am 23 today, which is insane. I'm pretty sure my birth time is like 1:32 Pacific time, because I was born in California. So it won't be, I guess it hasn't happened yet. So technically I'm still 22, but it's the day. I'm not going to not celebrate my birthday until, what is that? Like 3:30 or something? Lame. I don't know. But anyway, I am super excited about today, and I'm super excited to share these things with you. I made a video about this same thing last year, 22 things I learned in 22 years. And I'll tell you what, I watched that this morning to kind of like get some inspiration and be like, also just because I didn't want to repeat too many things, and I didn't want it to be too similar, just in case you all had already seen that video. Not that you remember everything I said. I didn't even remember anything I said, so I'd be shocked if you did. But in the off chance that you did, oh my gosh, my ex-boyfriend's mom just texted me. This is so nice. I love her to death. She's the best woman in the entire world. So nice, so kind. Like, if there is someone who has like a huge heart, it is this woman. So you know who you are if you're watching this. Hello, I love you. Anyway. So yeah, it's just funny how like that video that I made a year ago is so different than me a year today. It's just crazy to see how much of my personality has changed. Like the whole energy. I mean, maybe I was having a little bit of like an off day and I just seemed like low energy or something, but it's just crazy how different it is. And even like my editing style and just the way that the video is, like the whole thing is just weird. Like I was watching it and I was like, who is that? Like I literally don't even know who this woman is, which is interesting because if you don't know me and you are not me, you might not see that. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe it's because I am myself and I know how much I've grown and I know how much I've changed, that like even the slightest little different mannerism, I'm kind of like, who is that? So you might not notice it, but I would encourage you to go watch that video and just like see what you think. Let me know what you think, because it's weird. It's weird. I just like wasn't expecting me to be so different. But I mean, a year is kind of a long time. It literally feels like 100 years ago that I made that video. So there's that. But I love who I am right now. And I know that looking back at that video, seeing that girl, it was someone who was just so different. She was dealing with so many problems and was so in her head and stressed out all the time. Granted, I was in school and was dealing with some friend issues. But like, man, I don't know. I just feel so much lighter and freer and just better now, which is so great. That's just so positive and wonderful, and I love that. But it's really cool to see how we've grown. So anyway, let's hear 23 things I've learned in 23 years. So number 1 is the power of patience. Just like if I have learned this year, obviously with COVID and being in quarantine and in a pandemic, that just being patient with myself, not only with myself, but also with others, the being patient is truly just like, it's the best thing you can do. It's just not to let the little things stress you out, not to worry so much about my future, not to worry so much about when is COVID going to end? When am I going to get out of here? Just be patient with my time, know that my time is valuable, and know that where I am right now isn't all that bad. And I'm safe and I'm comfortable, and I have to just know that it's all good. It's all okay. And if I'm patient with things, even just little things like a barista making my order, if there's like 5 more orders ahead, I've had times when they've been like, oh, do you have this? Oh, I'm so sorry. Like, and it's like, no worries. Take your time. Like, I know you are way more busy than I am. Like, it's no rush. I think just like slowing down and recognizing that not everything has to be so crazy all the time, and that it's okay to just be patient and take things one step at a time. Yeah. Number 2, listen to burnout. Take care of yourself. There have been times where I have been burnt out and been stressed out and just been way over my head and not even recognized it because I have been burnt out for so long and just then continued to push forward. And so obviously, that being said, it can be hard to listen to yourself and recognize it because sometimes you don't even realize you're going through it. But I just encourage you to kind of, when you're feeling stressed like that, take note of it. And so then you know what it's like in the future if it happens again. Do you know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know. I think it's really important to make sure you're taking care of yourself and knowing that it's okay to say no to things. It's okay to cancel plans. It's okay to take time for yourself, which is like the overarching theme of just the past year of my life and this year going forward and just my life in general. I feel like I want to reassure myself that it is okay to take time for me and that if I'm feeling burnt out, if I'm feeling stressed, it's literally like I was watching this video of Billie Eilish and she was saying that like, it was like, what do you do when you're feeling super stressed? And she was like, I literally just remember that we're all going to die. Like, which is so tragic and very sad and disappointing, but so true. So true. Like feeling burnt out, feeling stressed. We like just if you think about that harsh reality that at the end of the day, we are all human beings who are all gonna die, which sounds so dramatic saying that, but like it's okay to mess up. It's okay to take it slow. It's okay to take a break. So if you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling like you're overworking yourself or you're overwhelmed, you're burnt out, listen to that and know that it's time to slow down. So, yeah. Number 3, lean into alone time. It's okay to be alone. So obviously something called the pandemic taught me this. Definitely started feeling some cabin fever time, being stuck in my house. And it's just weird having like all of my friends here in Richmond and not being able to see any of them for the longest time. And that was a bummer. And also just being so extroverted like I am, I get kind of stressed out when I'm alone. And I always kind of wrote that off and was like, I can never be alone. I can't do it. I hate alone time, like blah, blah, blah. But I think of this past year, I've really learned to appreciate that time, use that time wisely, use that time to treat myself, to relax, and just know that my own company isn't that bad, you know? Just know that it's okay to be with myself and that I'm a good person and my brain isn't that scary. I can enjoy some alone time. Why not? Why not? I can listen to my own thoughts. It's all right. Number 4 is to check in with all of your friends. Always ask how they're doing. I think definitely just like valuing my friendships and my family and stuff like that, and just making sure that everyone is good at all times, because you never know what someone is going through. And I think you just have to just always check in, always see how they're doing, and know that it's coming from like a place in your heart and it's not just some kind of surface level like, hey, you good? Awesome, great, thanks. Like just really go deeper, get to know these people on a deeper level, and like make sure that your friends know that you're there for them, and just know like the importance of the power of friendship, and that like put yourself out there in the world as a trusting, loving, and caring friend. And just if you put yourself there and you tell people and remind them that you're there for them, and you check in on them and you ask them how they're doing, they'll know that, you know, if they're going through a tough time, they'll know they can come to you. They'll know, you know, whatever. And I also just think a lot of times, and this is kind of going to go with a lot of the other things I say, but like a lot of the times, you just want to, you know, just that golden rule of treat others like you want to be treated. You know, if you are going through a tough time and you wish someone had reached out to you, start reaching out to other people, and then maybe that'll circle around and they'll start doing it the same to you. I don't know. I just think it's really important to keep those connections strong, and just even your happiest friends, you never know when something could be up. So it's really important to just take care of people and let them know that you're there. Number 5, don't take sunshine for granted. I, especially in quarantine, just like learned about just being stuck in the house and how like stressed that can make me, and just like how beautiful and wonderful a sunshiny day is, and how just rejuvenating and like amazing it is to just step outside, go on a nice long walk, go sit outside in the sun, anything, even if it's cold, bundle up and go on a walk. Just getting that sunshine, getting that vitamin D, vitamin C, I don't even know, but one of the vitamins, just getting those vitamins and just being in the fresh air and being in nature is so good for you. Like, I feel like it's just so good for your soul. Like, I can't even explain it, but it just is. And I feel like that's something that I have definitely taken for granted before. And if 2020 taught me anything, it's not to take the small things for granted. And sunshine is one of those things, because I didn't know I was going to be staying in my house for like 8 or 9 months or whatever. But Mr. Sun was my one source of endorphins. So amazing. I don't know if endorphins is the right word there, but whatever. Just pretend I didn't say that. Number 6, self-forgiveness is your superpower. So I think a lot of the times it's easy to kind of get on top of yourself and feel guilty for things that you really shouldn't feel guilty about. Like, you know, if you sleep in too late, or if you like eat 5 pieces of pie instead of the 4 that you wanted to eat. If you do something that you then kind of beat yourself up for, just know that energy is just negative energy, and it's kind of useless. You're not learning anything from it. You're not teaching yourself anything. You're not gaining any extra knowledge, and just beating yourself up and being upset with yourself is useless. Like, you really just have to, oh my God, Reese is on his way. I have to be quick. I have like 15 minutes. Okay. You have to forgive yourself. Because having that negative pent up energy is just, it is worth nothing. And you will feel so much lighter and so much better if you just don't do that. And obviously easier said than done, but just being kind to yourself and being forgiving is your superpower when it comes to self-love and self-appreciation. Sleep is not overrated. And I feel like that is pretty self-explanatory, and I'm still learning this. I kind of learned this in the last a month when I started getting into a more serious schedule with like working and stuff. I started saying, I'm going to go to bed at like midnight every night and wake up at 7, which I know isn't like a full 8 hours, I don't think, but like I'm feeling so much more energized. I feel so much more productive during the day. And when all my friends would be like, oh, I can't function without my 8 hours, I'd be like, no, I'm so cool. I can function on 3 hours of sleep. And it's like, in reality, no, you cannot. I feel like my body is like not cooperating with me when I don't get enough sleep. I'm not productive during the day. Like, it is so good for you. That is when you recharge. That is when your like insides do all the self-care, you know? So like, you gotta sleep. It's not overrated. It is not overrated. And you will not be getting any kind of badge of honor if you pull an all-nighter, so stop it. Okay, number 8. I know I said this in one of my recent videos or podcasts or something, but live each day like it could be the best day of your life. I love this. I just want to reiterate it because, again, I know I said this recently in another video, but it is so true. Start each morning thinking, maybe one day I will look back and this will be the best day of my life. Maybe something amazing will happen. You never know when you're just going to walk right into the rest of your life, Like, you never know when something amazing is going to happen and your whole world is going to change. So start every day with that mindset, and I will guarantee you will go through your day with a lighter, more positive, joyful attitude. So 10 out of 10 would agree that this is a good way to just live your life, man. I think that it is so key. It's a key. Yeah, I don't know what I'm saying, but you get it. I just think it's really important and really awesome. Number 9, time enjoyed wasting is not time wasted. And this kind of goes into the self-forgiveness is your superpower one, just because oftentimes I will feel guilty if I spend like 3 hours in front of the TV eating Cheetos. I'll be like, I wasted so much time. I could have been doing so much. But I was like, that show was also so good. It's my new favorite show. It was hilarious. The Cheetos are my favorite snack. Like, I feel good. Like, that was an enjoyable time. So just because I maybe wasted that time, there's no such thing as my grandma told me one time, like years and years and years ago, that there's no such thing as a waste of time, because time is so valuable, and it is something that if you decided to go watch the show, you did that with the intention of, oh, I really like this show and I really want to watch it, so might as well just indulge and do it. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. There's no such thing as a waste of time. So remember that. Small habits help your headspace. So basically, something that I definitely learned is like getting into a routine. So I make my bed every day. And that has been so nice. It's just like a nice way to start your day. I was talking to my parents recently about drinking coffee. I don't drink coffee. I never have. And I was like, I never want to drink coffee. I don't want to be addicted like you guys. And they were like, we're not addicted to coffee. Most of the time we actually drink decaf. And like, if anything, it's just like a nice routine. And I was like, oh, what do you mean? They're like, oh, well, you wake up, you go downstairs and you get started in your coffee. And it's just like a nice little, like, you don't even think about what you're doing because you're just doing, it's like a muscle memory kind of thing almost, and you're just starting your day with that, and you sit and you drink your coffee, think about your day, set your intentions. And I was like, oh yeah, that's actually super great, and I really love that. Like, I really honestly think that if you have these tiny little habits that you do and you kind of get into a routine, you will just feel more like structured in general. Like, I make a to-do list pretty much every single day. And even if every single day I put on wake up, make bed, like put on outfit and eat breakfast. Like, I put on all those things that I'm doing just like regularly every day that seem like nothing tasks are like actually a big deal, because sometimes if I don't make my bed, I might just feel a little off all day because I feel like cluttered or like unorganized, and if I don't eat breakfast, I'm probably gonna just feel gross all day. So like, it's just like, if you have something to check off, if you have that like daily task that you always do, that you can rely on, that you enjoy, that feels good, that will just kind of make you feel good. 11, self-reflection is healthy. So I said this in my 22 things I learned in 22 years video, but I really think that just journaling, and even like if you just have a thought or you have some kind of memory, like doing a voice memo, just any kind of like documenting of what you're feeling, what you're going through in that moment, or like writing down on your notes in your phone. Like, if you had a really good day, just write about that. Just because I was talking to Reese yesterday about how I really didn't love my outfit, and I was like stressing out about it. And he was like, do you ever listen? I was complaining about like a multitude of things on top of that, but that was kind of the root of it. And he was like, do you ever listen to your old podcasts? And I was like, not really. Like, obviously when I post them for the first time, but like not really like after that. He was like, what you're complaining about now, like you've given yourself this advice in the past. Like, you should really reflect on the things that you've spoken out before, because like you can constantly learn from yourself, and you're constantly like learning and growing. And if you're documenting that, then you can always go back and like relearn and like just like implemented in your mind. I don't know, like, I just feel like that's like really true and a really good idea. And sometimes like if I'm journaling, like I'll go back and look at journals, and granted, if I'm looking back too far in journals, I'll just be so dramatic and so angsty, just like myself going through puberty and just like talking about boys and being crazy in like early high school, late middle school. Like, oof, maybe not then. Maybe I won't learn anything from that, except like just I'll get a good laugh. But like, I don't know. I think like he was so right. Like, I should just go back and listen to some of my old podcasts, because like I've said a million times on this podcast, if this is anything, it is me dishing out advice for me to take. It is me speaking things out into the universe until I believe they're true. So if that's not like the power of manifestation, I don't know what is. Okay, next we have make friends everywhere you go. So I love this one just because it's something that I've been doing forever, and I just don't know why everyone doesn't. And it's not really intentional, just because it just kind of happens, because I also just overshare my life literally every single place that I go, like with no one. If no one asks, I'll still tell them my whole life story and like try to be friends with them. But one of my favorite things ever is going to this coffee shop, another routine that I do all the time, but I go there and I've like learned all the names of the people that live there, that work there. And like I have my usual, and like we're friends and we catch up. Like one of the baristas DM'd me today wishing me happy birthday. Like it's just like creating those relationships everywhere you go, because the thing is, like, just because you are going into somewhere where it's like someone working, say like a service job, where for you it's a one-off experience, you go and get your coffee and leave, but like being kind and nice and like opening up to that person, making a friend with that person, even if you are only going there once, that goes a long way. Working retail, I've worked in the fast food industry, I've worked in like coffee shops and like ice cream shop, like I've done it all. Not ice cream shops, milkshake shops. I've done it all. And like, I know for a fact that even though you might think that it's like, oh, you're seeing a million customers a day, like it's no big deal. Like if you're catty to me, if you're rude, like I don't understand. Like, yes, technically I'm here to serve you. I'm saying if I am like working in this job, technically I'm here to serve you, but also like there's no excuse for you to be rude to me. You know, like, yes, I'm seeing a million people a day, but like, the second you give someone a smile or ask them how their day is going, or like compliment them on their shirt or their earrings, obviously if you have a compliment, have it be something you actually mean. Don't just like pick out of a hat something random like that you can compliment someone on. But if you have those things, like that goes a long way. It goes a long way for both of you, because then you're just fostering a good relationship. If you go back, it's just like it's a good place to be. And I don't know, I just think making friends with everyone, being nice to everyone, and just spreading kindness everywhere you go goes such a long way. Such a long way. Okay, next we have dance parties are essential to a good day. This is so true. No matter what you're doing, stop and have a dance party. If you're working and you need to take a break, take breaks also. That should be like another footnote in this thing, because you should take breaks. But dance parties, I can't even tell you how much endorphins are released when you just get up and have a dance party. I'm using the word endorphins so much as if I know what that word even means. I like do. It's like one of those words where like I know what it is because I've used it in sentences and I've like read it, and it's just a common word. But if someone were like, define endorphins, I'd be like, the happy energy. Like I don't even know what it is, you know, whatever. Anyway, but it just feels so good. I literally have a video of me from when my high school boyfriend broke up with me. I just like turned on the camera and I got up and danced to one of my favorite songs. And it sucked because I was shocked and heartbroken and confused, but I was like, you know what? Screw this. I'm getting up and I am having a dance party. I'm turning this around. I don't care. I'm going to laugh at myself dancing like an idiot, and I'm just going to document this and know that this was a time when I was going through it, but I danced and I made it through. And I am not a good dancer by any means. Like I'm not out here like with like killer moves or anything, but I think just like moving your body and like if you're stressed out or you're feeling pain about something, just like you literally like shake the pain off of you and out of you. Like I think that is a very real thing, and I encourage you all to go and dance. Every bad day can be turned around into a good one most of the time. Granted, sometimes we have really tragic days if you're feeling a lot of grief or going through a lot of pain, or having like just a really, really bad day. Obviously, I'm not going to be like, if you're going through a very depressive episode, I'm not going to be like, just be happy. Like that's just insensitive and stupid. But I will say that if it's a day of a bunch of minor inconveniences, just a bad day, you know, just one of those weird one-off bad days, every day can be turned into a good day. Like, just if you have that positive mindset, if you look at things, if you look on the bright side, if you really, really try. And again, I know it's easier said than done, and I don't want to sound tone deaf or like just an idiot, but like I found in my experience that sometimes it's just not worth putting in the negative energy. You know, it's just not worth it. It's not worth having a bad experience. Say you're like driving somewhere and you have a bad experience in your car that like really upsets you or something, and then coming home and being sad. You know, you come home and you're like, okay, I'm in a new environment. Let's make my favorite lunch and go watch my favorite show, or like go like call a friend that makes you happy. Just like change the mood. Don't lean into it, and like know that it can be changed and it can be improved, because your mind is like literally your biggest muscle. Like that is how everything works. Like even if you're exercising, like you might tell yourself like while you're exercising, oh, I don't want to do this, like I hate this, I don't want to do this, but it's literally just your brain. Your body's capable, your body's able to, but like it is your brain muscle that is telling you you don't want to. But if you just change that mindset and be happy about it, be excited about it, even if it feels forced or it feels fake, like I won't guarantee you will feel happy and excited about it in the end of it. I think, I mean, try it out. Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes you are truly having a bad day, and that's okay too. Feel your feelings, feel it through. Of course, I'm a huge proponent of like allowing yourself to feel, but just know that it is okay. It is okay. And I do think that you can turn it around if it's just one of those weird one-off days. The time always has been, and the time always will be now. So I think that it's just like when it comes to things when you're like, oh, I want to do this so badly, obviously things like travel and like stuff like that have been off the table for the past year and probably will be for this year as well. So kind of be closed-minded about that. But everything else, just like COVID permitting, like if you're like, oh, I want to start a YouTube channel, oh, I really want to like dress this way, I want to do my hair this way, I want to, like, the time's now. Do it. Like if you're like, oh, I want to start dating, oh, I want to like make more friends, oh, I want to, it's now. Just do it and like trust yourself and know that you may fall down a few times, but you just have to get back up and trust that like your future is always going to be there, and your future self is probably looking back on you and looking back at you and telling you to just go for it. You know, like the time's now. The time, if you want to just reach for those goals, grab the opportunities and just do it. Just do it. I don't know. I just feel like trust the timing of your life, but know that you are in control of your actions. And if you want to do something, you should go after it. You shouldn't have things hold you back just because you're like, oh, I don't really know. Like maybe one day I want to be a fashion designer when I grow up. Maybe one day. Well, like, okay, the time's now. Start designing. Make a collection. Make things out of old bed sheets and scraps you have around your house. Like, do it. Just make it happen. You know, like you have to just have that trust and that faith in yourself that you can do it no matter what anyone else says. I just think having that self-confidence in yourself is really special. Number 16, you always have a support system of people backing you, even if it feels like the whole world is against you. You got to know that you have those fans. You have those people who think that you are just so cool and you are so wonderful and so incredible. You have people who think you're an amazing friend. You've made a good impression on people in your past and you might not even know it. So the next time that you think that the world is out to get you or that you have no one in your corner, just know that that's not true. And know that I am literally always in your corner. I'm not even kidding you. If you are ever going through something and you feel like you have no one to talk to, I am 100% without judgment, without care. Like I am there for you. DM me on Instagram. Like this is a very clear, open invitation that if you need someone to talk to who's not going to judge a single thing and who's going to be there for you. Like I know that I say sleep is important, but I'll be real. A lot of the times I am up at 4 a.m. So if you have that if you're like, oh God, I want to DM Olivia, I'm having a hard time, but it's 4 a.m. I don't DM me, because also I'm not going to be like, oh, so weird that this person DM'd me. Okay, wait. Reese is here. I have to go. I'll be back in a little bit, but DM me if you're going through a hard time. I love you all so much. I'll be right back. Hello. Sorry about that. I know it makes no difference to you literally at all because you are still watching this, but it is watching or listening to this, but it's been a few hours. I went and did a little celebration with Reese. He gave me a hydro flask, as well as this squishmallow behind me if you're watching the YouTube version of this, and those flowers and some other things, and very nice and kind. And then I went and had lunch with some of my friends, just at my friend's house, who, again, all negative COVID tests, but keeping it safe, but still kind of being risky, which I feel bad about, but it is my birthday. Not that that's an excuse. It's kind of dumb. I probably shouldn't do that, but I'm sorry. It's just two friends who have been quarantining at home and all tested negative, and I don't know, just, yeah, whatever. I'm not going to, again, not a COVID podcast, but just want to come on here and say sorry for if the lighting is different if you're watching this on YouTube, or I don't know why it would sound different. It should sound exactly the same. But let's get back into it. So, was kind of talking about how you always have a support system, and that's literally so true. Again, just if you ever need someone to talk to, I'm always there. I want to put myself out there just because I know what it's like to be in that situation when you feel like you literally have no one on your side. You have no one in your corner, and you're stressed out about it, and you feel alone and you feel scared. Like, talk to me. I got you. And just know that, again, the world isn't out to get you. They're here to love and support you. The whole world is. So just know that and keep that in mind, and all should go well for you, I guess what I'm saying. And then this kind of goes in the same vein of that, number 17, stop assuming the worst about people and about yourself, and just release judgment. For starters, stop thinking the worst about other people, thinking poorly about you, just because people don't see you the way that you do. You're your worst critic, obviously, and so your opinions that you have of yourself, you might think that others see that, but most likely they're not seeing it. And in addition to that, I feel like we as a whole like to think the worst, just like as a society, we usually tend to think the worst in people. And that's not a good idea. Again, as always, I say this a million times for literally any scenario, but you just never know what someone else is going through. And you just have to release your judgment, stop stereotyping people. And I know sometimes that can be like ingrained in your brain, but just kind of unlearning things you knew before. Stop judging people. I'm aiming to become a person who is far less judgmental and cares less about someone who cares less about other people. That sounds bad, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm not like trying to care about where they come from or what they do, or like one little thing, or if they made like one mistake one time. Like, it's like that old kind of like ethical dilemma of like, would you steal bread off the porch of something? Like, he's a thief, but also he's feeding his family. That, like, I don't know what it is. They talk about it in The Office, which, if you're talking about ethical dilemmas, your first point of reference isn't usually The Office, but I think if you watch The Office, you know what I'm talking about. But it's like stuff like that. Like, I think just like being more open-minded to people really just kind of like lifts a weight off of you. You know what I mean? Like, I just think it's far healthier and just better to just be kind. That's pretty much all that is just releasing judgment and not having like because your first thoughts are the thoughts that you can blame on society. Like, the first thing that pops in your head, that first judgment is something that you should be blaming society for. I mean, obviously, don't take all your thoughts, like, don't make mistakes, don't be mean to people and be like, society's fault, sorry, can't blame me. But you know what I'm saying? Like, that first initial gut reaction is something that you've just grown up knowing, and you just have to unlearn that. And I think that is something that I've definitely done in 2020, and I look forward to doing that more this year. Now that I'm a 23-year-old, I'm so mature, I'm so well learned, I know so much more now. Not actually, but like a little bit, but not actually, but a little bit. Okay, anyway. Next we have number 18. You are so beautiful the day you start saying it. So we all know that you're beautiful inside and out, but the day that you start saying it, that you look in the mirror, that you just hold yourself that way, is the day that it becomes true. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, even if you don't feel beautiful, if you dress like it, if you dress confidently, if you feel good in what you're doing, and you look at yourself and you say in the mirror, that girl is one fine piece of girl. I don't know. But like, if you just like say it to yourself. It's just the positive affirmations of just like saying it and speaking it until it's true. Like you just have to really say, like, if you're coming down hard on yourself for your physical appearance, and I tried to really make these not super like physical or like anything that has to do with just like outward appearance or anything like that. Like I didn't really want the list to be that, but one snuck in there and it's this one, and it's just kind of like, I don't know, just I guess just like believe in yourself and start acting like you. It's like when people are like, don't dress like the job you have, dress like the job that you want, you know, and like people start wearing like CEO outfits, whatever a CEO outfit is. I don't know what, like a blazer. I think that you just have to start doing that. Like, again, the time is now. If the time to start a self-love journey is any time, it's right now. Like, this is your time, baby. Get it started. Get it going. I love you. I love you. You've got this. 19, we have, life is more fun when you refuse to quote unquote grow up. So if you're watching this YouTube one, you can see that I have a bunch of stuffed animals behind me on my bed. I have like this crazy jungle wallpaper, little random art. Everything's like rainbow in this photo. And I just think that life is more fun when you hold on to that childlike sense of wonder. You know, I mean, obviously in certain scenarios you have to grow up, you have to be grown up, you have to be mature, obviously. But in my opinion, I think life is more fun when you just act like a kid, you know? Like it's like those TikToks where people are like, now I have grown up money and then I can buy anything that I want. So I bought this, and they buy like a giant beanbag that's the size of their house or something. Or people are like, it's like, I never understood why like grown-ups houses were so like minimal and boring and plain. Like when I was little, I always wondered why adults didn't fill their houses with like fun stuff. And it's this girl, and she has like a trampoline floor and like a swing in her house and just like rainbow neon signs everywhere. And it's like, yeah, that's so much fun. I mean, obviously if that's not your style for interior decor, like don't do that. But you know, like I just think it's more fun when you get extra sprinkles on the top, when you like just live more colorfully, you know, and that doesn't have to be a literal thing. It's just like kind of hold on to the fact that when you're a child, you just see everything with just this incredible sense of wonder, and you have such a broad imagination, and you're just so happy about things. Like that is something that into adulthood I have not like longed for, but I've found new ways to incorporate that into being an adult. You know, like, and I just think that it's so much more fun that way. I think I find myself being so much happier when I don't just give in to the like pressures of growing up and everything that is expected of me. I mean, obviously I'm going to get a job, and I'm going to probably have to apply for a bank loan one day or something, you know, like that stuff is going to happen. I'm going to have to get my own health insurance. I'm going to have to get car insurance, like, ew. But it doesn't mean I can't do it with a cherry on the top. So I don't know. I just think like just if you see things from the perspective of a child, things will be more fun, and I think you'll have just like a lighter sense of being. So go with that, I guess. Never stop learning and never stop trying new things. I am pretty bad at this. This is something that I'm definitely still learning. But I just like I always want to be someone who is constantly learning, constantly trying new things, constantly doing new things. My brother is definitely someone who is like that. He's always trying to learn a new language or do a new skill, like whether it's like coding or making music or literally anything. Like I tried to pick up skateboarding, and the first time that I like absolutely face planted when I was trying to like drop into this like bowl thing. I was like, I never want to do this again. This isn't for me. I never want to do this again. But I got back out there and I tried to do it, and I'm still not good at it, and I still can't do it. But that's not the point of this. What the point of it is that I tried, you know? And I think if you try new things, again, it's that old saying that you never know until you try. And that literally goes to everything. That just makes sense for everything. But I just think that like, it's so important to constantly learn and constantly try new things. If you're in a job, if you're in a marketing job, that doesn't mean you shouldn't be taking cooking classes, you know? It's like the same thing when with whichever number was the time is now, that one. It's like the same exact thing where it's like, just because you want to do this doesn't mean you can't follow your passions and follow your other dreams, you know? Like, you should constantly try, like, oh, you want to go to Spain? Like, oh, start learning Spanish, like learn something new. Or you want to do this? Like, you never know what different thing you'll enjoy until you explore it. So I think just constantly explore. Like, there's so much that this world has to offer. And I know that's kind of like a basic one, but I just think that it's really important to like continue to stay active and keep your brain active and just be like, I'm gonna move this camera, sorry, just continue to be like engaged in the world around you and constantly trying new things and constantly like just exploring yourself and your interests. And you're never too old to do that. I know 23 isn't like crazy old or anything, but like, you're literally never too old and you're never too young to start, you know? I think that we should all take time to like try something new, read a new book, do like, even if you're not good at painting, like, you don't have to be a good painter to paint. You don't have to be a good singer to write a song. Like, I just think that like, try new things and don't let other people or social media or anything tell you that you shouldn't, you know? Just do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. 21. Let go of old pain, then you will finally begin to heal. This is something that I for sure learned this year. I had so much like not guilt, but I guess like grief kind of just like stored up inside of me, and hatred. And so the second that you can start to like let go of that and start joking about these things, these past issues, these past problems, the second that you can let go and move on. I mean, I'm not saying you necessarily have to forgive, depending, every situation is different. But like, the second that you let things just, I'm not going to let this bother me anymore. I'm going to let go of this. I'm going to forgive myself for feeling this way. This was not wasted energy, but it's still something that I don't want to focus on anymore. And then you just let it go and you'll feel lighter. You have this weight lifted off your shoulders, and it's just like, that is when the healing process begins. If you've been hurt by someone or by something in any way, the second that you are able to like just let go of that pain, and it's hard, it may take months, it may take years, but like, once you do that, that is when I feel like the healing process actually begins. And it's tough, but I think a lot of it has to do with forgiving yourself and just being patient again with you and with your emotions, and knowing that it's okay and that it's going to take time. But then once you can let go of it, it's just about not holding grudges, you know, and forgiving other people, even if you don't, like, I'm not saying you have to make up with everyone. Sometimes it's too much of a sticky situation and you can't do that, but like, making up with yourself, you know, I just think that that's like good. 22, physically document, but casually. So one of my New Year's resolutions was to just document more, you know, like taking photos, taking video, whatever, just in journaling, just so I like have more for future me to see. But I think something that's really important is to document physically. So whether that's like scrapbooking or using like a film camera and getting prints instead of just digital copies, and like actually putting them into a photo album, just so you have those memories. It's fun to flip through. It's fun to like have that to reminisce on. I think the reason why my memory is so decent is because I journal all the time. And so I'm like actively physically putting those out into the world, into physical form, and then it's stuck there in my memory forever. And that's what I think is like so crucial. Just, I don't know, I think that like documenting things is so important, but in a casual way where like you do it but you don't feel pressure to post on Instagram. You do it but you don't feel pressure to like stay up all night and edit a video. You know, you just are doing it for yourself. I think like if we can, why I really like how like make Instagram like casual again kind of thing. Like I love that just because it is far more genuine, and then you're not like stressed about getting the perfect shot or like making sure everything looks good or everyone looks good or like editing or anything. It's just like, this was fun. Let's snap a picture and print it out and put it in this photo album. Like I really want to try to have more hard copy keepsakes, like any kind of like tickets or pay stubs or just anything that you have that is like you can stick in a journal, that stuff is so cool. Like my friend recently posted, she got like the vaccine. I'm pretty sure she got the vaccine, and she posted, or she was like approved for the vaccine or something. And she took a photo of it, and it was like the doctor's signature and like the COVID card. And I was like, you got to keep this, because this is going to be like, someone's gonna have this and it's gonna be like in a museum one day. Like this is a huge thing. They'll be like, this is the first vaccine like approval card. I mean, she wasn't the first person in the United States to get the vaccine, but you know what I'm saying. It's like stuff like that is just like so cool. Like my dad for his birthday got this book that was like Richmond Memories, and it's just, he grew up here where I live now, and it's just so cool to see like all these photos from when he was, I guess it was like I don't know, like a time when his parents would have been like, I don't know, I don't think he was born yet when the photos were like taken, but it's just cool because he's like, this brings up so many old memories. Like I love doing this. Like I love seeing like, oh, that's so cool. Like things that just don't even look like that anymore, but you have that photo, you have the physical copy of like, just opens up new memories. I don't know. I think that's a cool thing. And I mean, it's something innovative. It's something crazy, but like, do it. Just do it. Just do it. And then lastly, this one's pretty basic too, but flood your space with positive affirmations. It is just so essential, I think, just to have like all over your mirror, all over your bedroom, anywhere in your house, just like little sticky notes like, you are beautiful, you are loved, you are important. Like I know it's cheesy, and I know it's like, okay, sure, that's like what like they have in like cheesy rom-coms, like Hallmark movies. It's very Hallmark movie-esque, but like it is just so essential. It's like for those days when you feel like no one is there for you, like you see that positive note that you wrote down and you're like, wait a second, like I'm there for me, I've got this, I have me, like it's gonna be okay. That is crucial. Just taking care of yourself, knowing that you're always going to be there for yourself, and that like, yes, the going may get tough, but you look at yourself in the mirror and you have little positive sticky notes all around it, and it's like, I love you, you're special, you're important, people love you, you are an inspiration to the world. Like anything, it makes you feel good, and it's good, and it's loving, and it's caring, and that is the positive note that I'm going to end this out on. So that's 23 things that I learned in my 23 years, or I guess in my 23rd year, because this was kind of things that I learned in the past year. I don't know. I feel good. It's like I don't feel older, obviously. No one really ever does on their birthday. But something about today, I just feel like radiant, you know? Is that like, I don't know, is that like weird to say? I just feel like I have so much potential to do so many great things, and I'm excited about it. I'm excited to just like unleash this new like burst of creativity I'm feeling, and this new just like happiness. I'm just like full of joy, you know, and I feel good, and I want to share that with everyone. And that's why I love doing things like this podcast. I love making videos, and I just thank you so much for everyone who has sent me birthday wishes so far. You guys are amazing. Yeah, I don't know. I'm really excited for my 23rd year. I think it's going to be a good one. It's crazy. I mean, it's crazy. It's really crazy that I'm 23. Time flew freaking by. But I'm excited for 23. I'm excited for 24. And I'm excited for 42. You know, I can't wait. Life is so full and abundant. And I can't wait to see everything that it has to offer me. And I hope you feel the same way. So I love you guys so much. So much. Like I can't even express that enough. And I can't wait to see you next week. Have an amazing weekend. And go treat yourself to a piece of cake. I don't know. Go buy a cake. And go sit in the park with your friends. COVID safe. If it's COVID safe. If not, don't do this. But go sit in the park with your friends. Eat cake. And just reminisce on fun times and make plans for the future. Start that hobby you've been wanting to start. I love you guys so much. I will see you next time. Bye.